Today we're going to learn how to paint a cat. My editor will be flashing the colors that I'll be using across the screen right now, and we'll just get right into it. I'm going to use a simple filbert brush to start, and I'm going to use this dark blue. If you don't, for this step, you could totally just use a pencil. Use a crayon, use anything you want. But I like to, well, you'll see how the painting comes along. I like to use this blue in the color of the cat a little bit. So, to paint the cat, you just imagine what a cat looks like. You could use a reference material if you want. I just gonna quickly paint. There's no wrong way to paint. If you're putting a paintbrush and you have paint on it, you're probably in a good position. I sometimes don't even paint the back leg when I'm painting cats. So, once you get the outline of your cat done, you want to clean your brush off, or grab a new one. I like to use the same brush for a lot of the painting sometimes. And then you want to pick the color of the cat that you want to paint it. Typically I paint with orange. I like to paint orange cats a lot, but I'm going through a phase right now where I'm painting red cats. So I'm just going to use my vermilion, my red. By the way, you don't have to worry about using the exact paint colors. I just like to use these colors because they're honest representations of the colors. Primary colors. And with them I have a fighting chance of mixing up some primary colors. If I wanted to make this cat orange, I could just take my red paint, a little bit of it, because it's very strong, and add it to my yellow paint. So as you can see, I just painted over the whole cat's face. And you're like, wait, shouldn't you paint a cat face there? That's going to be coming up a little bit later. Let's not worry too much about it. And as you can see, this bright red color is getting mixed in with the blue underneath, and it's giving it a darkness to it. That's something that you can, if you don't like it, you could have let the blue to dry first, or used a pencil instead and just hopped right into coloring in. There is no right or wrong way to do it. In fact, if you want to be painting just anything. Here, this is how I decided I wanted to paint cats. I wanted to paint something. I had some paint supplies. And I have had some painting experience, but back in the day, all I painted was a cat, and that's just naturally what came from me. So, I like to spend some time painting cats. It doesn't always matter how the painting looks, just the act of painting. Sitting down, being by yourself, or with others. You could be painting in a group. Okay, so before we get into painting the cat face details, we're going to have to let that dry. In fact, I'm going to grab some of the loose paint from around where the eyes and the nose is going to be, and just wipe it off on my towel. Like I said, there's no wrong or right way to do it. Now I'm going to want to mix a green. I have two shades of blue on my palette, you may have noticed. I'll be using the Cerulean Blue Hue, because this dark blue that I have is awfully dark and does make a pretty green. So I'll take that lighter blue and a little bit of the yellow, mix it up in my palette with the paintbrush I'm using. I just cleaned it from the red, because the red would make it awfully dirty too. And I'm just going to add some green grass for my friend down here. He's just in the world of his own, you know? Just playing with bugs, maybe. I'm going to go over here, paint some. It looks like I didn't mix up enough paint. I'm going to be mixing some more now. Big old gob of blue and an even bigger gob of yellow. Yeah? Well, give me about 5 minutes. Okay. I'm getting called away. But let's just finish my painting first. So, I'm just adding some green onto the background, onto the bottom there. I guess we'll do it all the way to the edge today. Oop. Got a little bit of the other blue in my palette there. I'm thinking for future installments I'll have my palette in frame, because that is quite a part of the painting process. And it doesn't look like my lighting is too well today, but I mean, this is just the pilot episode. If you're liking my painting and content, remember to like and subscribe. Maybe, just maybe, do you think we could get to 10 subscribers with this first release? Just cleaning off my paintbrush, wiping it off on this towel I got here. And now, just because kids, when they paint or put a picture to paper, they paint a house, their family, their pets, and they paint a big old sun maybe. And I think we should take that into consideration and paint the sun into our painting too. And just in the corner of the painting, or anywhere, you could put a little circle in the background. I'm making a huge sun here. Moving the canvas a little bit. Oh yeah. My paint water is a little bit dirty. Sometimes when I clean it and wipe it off, I have to make sure to dry it more, just so that leftover residual paint color in the water. So now, before we're getting to painting the cat face, but we still have to paint the background. I'm going to grab a little bit of a bigger paintbrush, and I'm going to use that lighter blue, Cerulean Blue Hue, and I'm just going to start filling in the background. This is a part of painting that I used to not respect so much. I used to love painting objects. I'd paint people a lot too back in the day. Ooh. And I'd try to have the subject fill as much as the canvas would allow. And it made some good paintings, I'll tell you that. But just having the space there, letting it live in its own little world, I think is important. I'm learning later in my painting. Oh, get some red mixed up in the blue. It'll make the sky a little bit darker, but that's okay. We're not going for perfection today. They say practice makes perfect, but I don't think perfect should be the goal. I think you should still practice. Practice makes better. Might be a better way of saying it. Sure, you might want to strive for perfection, but that honest goal of going for perfection can be debilitating to some. Where some people just like, they have to do everything ever so perfect. And then they don't end up doing anything at all. So, maybe if you're looking at this and you're like, geez, that looks like my kid could have painted this. They can, obviously, and I think that's what Picasso strived for later in his life. He said it took him 4 years to paint like Rembrandt, and Rembrandt is a very good portraitist. But he said it took him his whole life to learn to paint like a kid. And when you look at art, and you see art that rivals, I don't know, say, photography, I kind of wonder, what's the point anymore? I'd rather almost look at a well-framed photography. Oops, got a little bit of red there. I'll just mix it into the sky. So I'm just trying to cover up a lot of the whites in between the layers without getting too much. But you know what? I could be painting here all day. It really doesn't matter what or how you paint. In fact, I encourage you to take your time. I might be painting at a fast pace, but I'm in a different environment being on a screen. Just being in your own world, sitting around with paints and a palette and a canvas. Normally, normal people look their canvas straight on, face to face, but the face, I'm looking at it sitting at a 90-degree angle. It's like I'm on a sitcom or something. So now I'm going to paint the eyes. I got my white, my titanium white, which is the strongest white. I'm going to just blop some whites where I wiped down some of that red paint earlier. Got a lot of... I like to do this step first, and then I have white on my brush, and I'll pick up a little bit of red, and I'll mix it in with some white, and it's going to make a pink, like the color on my face. And then I'll just make a nice, beautiful nose. We're so close to being done here. When you take your time, too, and you're painting with acrylic paints like I am, it gives the opportunity, the paint on the thing to dry. And I think that is important. So now, the color of the eyes. I think I'm going to make brown. That's something, I generally make a blue eyes because I'm lazy. So I'm going to go back to my palette, which you can't see, grab some of that green, and grab some red and mix it in until it makes this nice brown. It's looking kind of greenish. I don't like that, so I'm grabbing some more blue and adding it in. Back to some more red. And now I think I'm going to add a little bit of white. Okay, it's looking awfully sickly green. I'm going to add some more red, I think. And this kind of has... that kind of looks brown. Okay. And a little bit more blue. Yeah, here's a brown I'm happy with. And then I'll just put some eyes. See, now at this point in the painting is when I would take a serious break. The painting would be totally dry by the next time I come to it. But seeing as we're on television today, we're just going to skip right ahead to the last painting. We're going to have to use black. I know if you noticed there wasn't any black at the beginning. That's because I don't have any. I'm going to have to make my own black. So this is a totally avoidable skip, but it's also a good practice to mix colors. Have only the 3 primary colors and try to make any color out of it, including black. I'm pretty close right now. I feel like if I add too much to it. So I'll just finish with the eyeballs. And then go, whoop. And give them a little smile. A little dash down from the nose to the mouth. A little dash, and then a smile. And then 3 or 2, if you don't have the space. I picked up some red there. Give him some red. Okay. He's got 2 whiskers. That's all he's got today. And then just the irises of the eyes. Cat's eyes are a little bit different. So just give him 2 big irises. They're kind of skinny. Let's fatten them up a bit. Ooh, that's looking kind of purple. I don't know if that's the direction I want the blue to be in, or the black. But there's only so much you could do. When you're painting in this style, it's probably just better just to get a black tube. So, if that's one lesson from today, is perhaps get a tube of black paint. So, remember to like and subscribe. I'm GP. New channel. And then put in little dots of black, little dots of white, I mean, on the eyes. Give the little shines in the whites of the eyes. Let's see if I could do this without ruining the day. Ah, ruined the day. There we are. And that's how you paint a cat. Thank you so much for watching. I appreciate your time. Mwah.